Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Ka Hala Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutation to you, Atkins, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. I wanted to make a quick video on basically the spirit that the true men of the Lord are going to be in, or the spirit that a man of the Lord would be in, a true man of the Lord would be in when in this truth, you know. When doing this work of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And also the scripture is also gonna explain why we are so much different from the world and why we don't go into celebrating these so-called these vain wicked days that Esau has made, you know, because these are not of our customs or of our culture as Hebrew Israelites, you know. So I'm just gonna read Slack is a new Bible, so the pages are really thin. Okay, we read Ecclesiastes 7:1, and it reads, "A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth." Now, when it says a good name is better than precious ointment, ointment is talking about basically these different jewelry and fragrances and skincare all these two-thirds use to make themselves look good, you know. Like for instance, I think J Lo's in her late 40s, and you know, men praise her because she looks like she's in her late 20s, you know. But it says a good name, which is talking about integrity, man. A good name is better than precious ointment. Yeah, you two-thirds might look good to the eyes of the carnal man, but to the eyes of the Lord and His Son, the men that are doing this work in truth and sincerity have a good name, man, and are doing and have integrity and look good to Him. And that's the only eyes that matter in the end of the day. Okay? And it says halfway through verse 1, and the day of death better, it says, I'm going to read that again, Slack it. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. So why is the scriptures talking about the day of death is better than one's birth? Well, that's because when you die, actually through the scriptures, if for you brothers who are deep, there's reincarnation in the scriptures. You don't go into a place called hell where Satan's down there poking you with a pitchfork, so to speak. You know, that's false. That's a vain philosophy or doctrine in Greek mythology. Basically, the day of one's death is better than the day of one's birth, is because when you die, you actually are sent up to the spiritual realm, you know. And real quick to prove it, because when you're in the spiritual realm, that's where you get your judgment. But also, when you're in the spiritual realm, you're in peace because you're in your spiritual form and you're away from this world, because this world's wicked, you know. That's all this world is just wickedness. And so when you die, you're actually, that's why people, you always see RIP, rest in peace, on people's gravestones, whether they be wicked or not, because they actually are in peace. They are resting, you know. They're really just asleep. They're not actually, you know, being tortured in hell, or so-called hell, like these false churches will say. And then it says the day of one's death is better than the day of one's death than the day of one's birth, because when you're born, according to whether you're wicked or not, if you've been wicked in your past life, you'll be brought back, and when you're brought back, the Lord's gonna jack you up. You'll be serving your judgment. That's why some babies, you might see them come out all jangled up, you know, and parted out, you know. Some of them might come out blind and deaf. You know, some might come with a mental problem, you know, speech impediments, all these different type of things, and different type of diseases and curses. And these are things that that baby had, or that man had to, these are judgments that man had to serve according to his past life and his deeds. So, and even if you were righteous, let's say you're one of the elect coming back, when you're coming back, you're being born into a wicked world, man, where the air is polluted, the food's polluted, you're still enslavement under Esau, you know. The whole world hates you because you're into the scriptures and because you know the Lord and you're serving the Lord. So either way, it's one's death is better than one's birth, you know. Just to prove my point, I'm gonna read Job. Salak, give me 1 second here. This is Job 3, Job 3 and 13, and it reads, "For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept, then had I been at rest." It's talking about dying. Because basically, roughly, just to summarize real quick for you brothers who don't know the story of Job, Job was a man of the Lord, and basically, the Lord, Yahweh, let Satan try Job to the very extent of his limits, just to prove that Job's integrity and loyalty to the Lord. So as Job was going through his hell, he's talking about, he was basically suicidal, man. He was talking about dying and being put to rest. But if, as you read, you'll hear how he explains death. You know, it doesn't sound so bad. He actually wants it, like it's a peaceful thing. You know, proving my point back in Ecclesiastes where it says, um, "A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth." So it says, Job 3 and 13, "For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept, then had I been at rest, with kings and counselors of the earth which built desolate places for themselves, or with princes that had gold who filled their houses with silver, or as an hidden untimely birth I had not been, as infant which never saw light." So children that die at birth. There the wicked sees. See, here's the point. He says there, this place that he's talking about, that he wants to go to, that he wants to be at rest and be quiet and still, where all these different type of people are there also, kings, counselors, princes, babies who died at birth. Okay, like I was reading. He says there, verse 17, there the wicked cease from troubling. So there's even a place where the wicked go when they die, where they cease from troubling. And if they cease from troubling, then that just blows the whole hell doctrine out of the water. Because these churches will say hell is real, and if you commit sins, you're going to go down to this place and burn forever, and Satan's going to be torturing you. That's bullshit, because if that was true, then why is Job saying this place that he wants to go through, which is clearly death, is life after death, okay, is a place where the wicked cease from troubling? You know? That's just logic right there. That blows it out of the water. Because what happens is you die, your spirit, your body decays back into the earth. That's where our bodies come from. And then the spirit, which is in the body, that's being housed by the body, goes right back up to the Most High, Yahweh. Okay? And then from there, you are judged. And whether you are righteous or wicked, if you're wicked, you come back in another generation and be put on this earth, and you live out your hell on earth. Okay? Because hell is a state of mind. Okay? For example, if you're a man that comes on earth and you're born blind, okay, or you're born blind and deaf, and let's say you're paralyzed too, you're gonna tell me that's not hell? To be born and never see a single color, see a single thing, and never hear a single thing, and also on top of that you can't walk? That's hell, man. You're literally born inside your own head. You're trapped in your own head to to imagine whatever's there. Okay, so that's hell. That's judgment. You live out your judgment on earth. And in Ecclesiastes, it tells you that I saw under the sun the place of judgment, which is the earth. Okay, so verse 17, the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at at rest. There the prisoners rest together, they hear not the voices of the oppressors. The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Wherefore is light given to him misery, and life unto the bitter in soul. So that's it on that. Just to prove uh, that that's that little point there. That death is better than one's birth, especially in this kingdom, man. Okay, in the new kingdom, it's going to be righteous, so it's not going to be a bad thing to be born in this kingdom, man. Into the new kingdom, Slake. Okay, but this kingdom right now, hey, it's not a beautiful thing to be born in this kingdom. It's hell here. All right. It says, verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning, okay, than to go to the house of feasting. Because what happens at a dinner? Everybody is laughing, everybody's joking, eating, feeling nice, comfortable, and basically enjoying themselves. But the Lord said it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. Now, that's not to say that you should always look to be upset every single second of your life. No, there's gonna be times where like that's what the brotherhood's for. When you're going through a lot of hell, you go chill with the brothers, maybe have a couple drinks, kick back, you know, tell each other's different testimonies, or kick back, watch a movie, just to relieve the stress. Essentially, that's what the woman's supposed to be for, man, a stress reliever. When you're stressed out, you're supposed to be able to pop your woman and relieve that stress. But these women are all jacked up and all proudful, man. And you know what? They're not in their right mind. So you can't even rely on them to relieve your stress. Okay. So this place is hell most of the time. When you're here, most of the time this place is hell, especially when you're in this truth, man. Okay. It says, it is better to go into the house of mourning than to go into the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart, which is talking about the mind, because the heart goes back to the Hebrew word lab, which means the mind, okay? So it says, it's like verse 3, sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance of the heart is made better. Okay, because when you go through hell, you do tend to learn more, man. When you're going through hell, that's why the scriptures talk about when you're going through hell is like refining gold in the fire. You're actually just getting better, man. Like the old saying goes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Pain is just weakness leaving the body. So when you're going through hell, man, you at the same time when you're in the midst of your hell, understand that this is actually better for you, and this is how Yahweh Shai shows His love to you. He said He loves, for the Lord loves who He chastens, right? Just like a father who, if he loves his son, he will discipline his son when he's going off. Otherwise, if he doesn't love him, he will give two shits and let him keep going off. Okay, so take it a joyful thing when the Lord is actually dealing with you and putting you through hell to make you a better man. Okay? It says, verse 4, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. Okay, the heart of the wise is in the house of the mourning. They like to know the truth of this kingdom, this wicked kingdom, and that's why we always look like we're pissed. Alright? But the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. Okay, you got a lot of jakes who, like these 2/3, living it up, calling out, chanting out YOLO, spending a bunch of money on vainless things, women, drugs, countless of vain things that don't mean anything. All in the end, just to be destroyed by Yahweh Shai and have none of that stuff, and not be able to take any of that stuff with them in the new kingdom. So all that stuff is vain. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. Rebuke is beautiful, man. It shows that a brother cares about you. Okay? So for you brothers who have an emotional problem, you need to cut that out of your system, man. Cut that out of your character. Because when you are being rebuked from another brother, man, that is showing you if you're a spiritual man, if you're spiritual, and when you're spiritual, you can't be emotional. So if you're spiritual, you can discern that, man, this brother's actually counseling me on what I did wrong. Okay? And for him to do that, that means he actually cares about me. Otherwise, he'll just let it go. No man wastes his time on something that he doesn't care about. You know? For as verse 6, for as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of fools. This also is vanity. Okay, verse 7, one of my favorite scriptures in this book. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. That's why, for me personally, man, and a lot of brothers a lot of brothers in GMS do this too. I'm pretty sure every brother who's sincerely doing the work doesn't celebrate their birthdays or gives two shits about their birthdays, and for sure doesn't celebrate Christmas and all these other vain holidays, man, because they're vanity, you know, the vanity and vexation of the spirit. Okay, and it just finished telling you that a gift, it destroys the heart, the mind, because it distracts you from what's really going on. That's why Nate and them, they're a perfect example of this. Nate and Polite, because they have all these gifts, okay, this money, these the jewelry, you know, they're always going flying out to different places and vacations and all these different things, but it destroys the heart, which is their mind, man, and it distracts them from what's really about to happen. Little they know, Yahweh is getting Yahweh Shai ready to come down here real soon, man. The scriptures say that they should say safe and peace, safety and peace, and sudden destruction shall fall upon them. Roughly paraphrasing. So just because things look all right and nothing profound is happening doesn't mean the Lord's not stirring things up, man. Okay. Uh, um. Uh. Verse 8, the last scripture here. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, just like what I read in verse 1. Okay, and the patience in the spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Okay, and the word patient literally means to suffer, man. So the men that are patient in the spirit, who are suffering through the spirit, are better than the men that are proud in the spirit. Like who? Esau, 2/3 of Israel. You damn woman. Okay, because when you're suffering, it actually humbles you, man. You can't be proud when you're constantly being beat down, where you're constantly being beat down. You know, it's impossible to be prideful when you're constantly taking a beating, man. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna close up, and I hope that was edifying to you, brothers. And with that, I'm gonna say Ka Halal Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutation to you, Atkins, pushing this word into sincerity. Shalom, and stay in the spirit.